Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast. Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P. Today, I got my usual suspects are back on here. My great guest, Hendo, Ravens online, Gatekeepers for parentheses. Go check my man out. He got merch, all that stuff. His Patreon, him, Suge, they did a stream, I think, last night or the night before.
Mhm.
Had about 100 people in there, man. Go support my guy, man. You know he got some good things. And then the lovely Shannon Fitz as usual. She's
Hey,
back here to chop it up with us. Episode 27, yeah, episode no 28. Sorry, for the YouTube. I mean for the audio version is episode season one, episode 30, I believe. All the links in the description, so no need to get into that. All right, let's just get started. Hindu, you'll go first. We'll go on the clockwise. Let's just talk about this offense from Sunday's night playoff game. What was yours?
We just talking about the offense.
No, we're gonna start off with that first. Then you're going
I
defense
mean,
as
just the
well.
offense as a whole. No, no. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
as
trying
a
to get some
whole.
things right.
Yes, yeah, as a whole, as a whole, all levels. Yeah, we're gonna keep it all the way.
Um, I think they played. I think they played very well. Surprisingly, going into the game, I know a lot of people felt like this was going to be a blowout or the game was going to be out of reach early, and they gave us hope. They actually dominated. To an extent, Greg Roman called a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we fell into that rut of once we get into the playoffs. No, I mean, I guess it's just common with him. What works for us, he goes away from. J.K. Dobbins killing him. Gus Edwards rolling people over. Um, we don't utilize our wide receivers enough. And to my surprise, I had asked myself, where's Isaiah Likely? Why aren't we using him? He finds open zones. He finds a way to get extra yards that Mark Andrews can't. Now, I know a lot of people think that Likely's better than Andrews. He may be better in some aspects, but my thing is
Ah,
just listen. In some listen, if it I listen, I'm not listen. You know me and Likely. I'm not. I wasn't high on the pick, but I will
right.
say he has wiggle that Andrews doesn't have. He's got a wiggle in his listen.
I
He
give you,
break
I
he
give you
breaks
that.
tackles.
I give you that.
He breaks tackles. So I was just like, we are supposed to be a tight end centric team and a running team. Where is this?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we back here trying to pass the ball? Now, all credit to Tyler Huntley because a lot of those plays were broken. Things just weren't going right, and he made things happen.
hmm
Like in some instances, if you really didn't know and look, you would have thought Lamar was out there. Like the ball that went over his head, he picked it up, threw it for a completion. He looked very good, especially for somebody that didn't practice that much during the week.
hmm
I give him credit. I just think that coaching let us down. Now I know Tyler Huntley had the fumble at the goal line, but he shouldn't have been put in that position. First down, we shouldn't be throwing a pass to the fullback in the flat.
hmm
Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins should have been in the game because the first time we got into the red zone, J.K. was in there. We scored a touchdown. The three times after that, they're not in there. We don't score. It's like these coaches are trying to outsmart themselves or trying to prove that they can do other things than what we're used to normally doing. But overall, the offense played pretty well. Running backs played well. Demarcus Robinson, I know a lot of people don't want to give him credit, but on that sluggo, he sold it. And I know it was
hmm
Eli Apple, but he shook him. He
Hey,
shook
bro, that's a paid NFL corner. I don't care
he
about none of
shook he
that.
shook him out his
Yeah.
shoes. So I give Demarcus Robinson credit for that, but just the underutilization of our running backs. And you would have thought that from the three previous trips to the playoffs with this team, we know that running the ball is what did us in. I'm sorry, not running the ball is what did us in. The lack of attempts. And when we get 25 attempts between JK and Gus, it's not enough. It's not enough.
hmm
Now the offensive line, they were solid. I mean, listen, Cincinnati brought it. I give their defense credit. They brought it. The offensive line didn't have one of their best days because even with JK getting the yardage that he did, him and Dan Justice, they were ducking and dodging. Like they put moves on people to get out of losses. So it wasn't the greatest day for the offensive line, but it was enough for us to actually get this win.
Well
Yeah.
said. Go ahead, Shannon.
I agree with everything you said. As far as the offense, if we're giving grades, I would give them probably a B minus. Because honestly, they played really good. I was proud. Before when we did the episode last week, I was worried about getting embarrassed. That's all I hope is that we didn't go get embarrassed. And from the beginning to the end, they played hard, and that's all I could ask for. Without having, I was starting quarterback there, and like you said, Huntley didn't even practice majority of the week, so he didn't even look like he was, missing in action. I was proud of him. I was proud of everybody. The only issue with the offense is what we've said all year. It's the same thing, same mistakes, the same things that we've complained about all season. It reared its head in the playoffs. It's the play calling and the execution. Because like even with Huntley doing what he did, and granted, I think that we shouldn't have called the play. We shouldn't have called for him to run it in, right? But could he have went low? Could he have held the ball tighter? So sometimes it falls on execution as much as it does fall on the play calling as well. But overall, I can't even really say anything bad about the offense because they impressed me. I mean, they did enough for us to win. And even at the very, very end, we still could have been in a position to win that game. So hats off to them.
Oh, well said, Shannon. I give him a B. I give him a B. It could have been higher if it wasn't for that fumble and the interception. For those are points, points we left off the field. But all in all, they did. They moved the ball. Like I said, the running backs did their thing. Like Hendo said, they got underutilized. So you gotta give J.K. the same number of carries that's on his jersey. Yeah,
Hmm.
game that close. Like you can't give him 12 carries. Like I get it. He's coming back off injury and all that, yada yada. But he feel like he can handle it. Give it to him. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like we just left some stuff off on the field. That's what prevented me from giving him a high grade. Like the O line did their thing. They moved guys up the ball in the run game. Pass protection was a little bit better this go around. How he just stay in the pocket, look more comfortable. Completed at passes down the field, not just playing check down Charlie. And Marcus Robinson, he got him on a sluggo. Like you said, I know for Eli Apple. Eli Apple is a paid NFL corner. Yeah, so I don't want to hear nobody using that as an excuse. He beat him, so you got to give him credit for it. Huntley put it in the breadbasket. Andrews finally had a breakout game in the playoffs. Previous playoffs, even held under 50 yards or something like that. So he finally got going. Defense played well, man. He only gave up 17 points. Just a high flying offense. We just the offense did enough, but they should have just did a little bit more. And then the grade would have been a little higher. We be going on to play KC right now, so but hey, it's in the past. It is what it is. All right, the defense. Go ahead and do.
For me, look, listen, the defense did outstanding. It's kind of hard for me to grade it because on one hand, they played outstanding ball. You held one of the top offenses in the NFL to 17 points. But on the other hand, we built our team on defense. Now I know I'm probably just being nitpicky and spoiled because I'm used to the early 2000 Ravens where the defense shut people down, but they also scored points. So I guess I get a defense an A. I can't give them an A plus because, like I said, we need turnovers. We need them to score, and I know that's asking a lot of them to do, but that's how we design this team. We design this team to lean on the defense and have them get those turnovers, take the ball away, do these things. Um, I can't say nothing bad about it. Like they did what they needed to do. Always showed up. I think always should have got a half a sack on that. Just on that was it the Ty's Bowser sack? I
Mhm.
think he should have got a half a sack because they met there at the same time. He was his bull rush was working. He doesn't have many moves, and Cincinnati was down to their third offensive lineman, but they dominated. Kyle Hamilton was out there doing his thing. That forced fumble, I was a little bit happy on that forced fumble that it was Hayden Hurst because Hayden Hurst likes to run his mouth, feeling
I
like
noticed that.
we shouldn't have traded him. Like Hayden Hurst got a lot. He gets real animated when he plays us, like he got something to prove. It's like, bro, we didn't need you. You know, you should have stuck on somewhere else. But defense was flying around. Marlin did his thing. I know a lot of people unfairly criticize my man Marcus Peters. You know, sometimes the same things that you hate about a person is the same things you love about them. Now they don't like that Marcus gets into the extracurricular activities, but it's that fire and that passion that makes Marlowe play better. And people don't
Hmm.
tend to see that. Like he brings that energy. He plays like a Raven. Like he had a couple hard hits in there. Now I do wish he could kind of get it under control a little bit. But listen, I take a penalty here and there if he helps to shut down one of the best passing offenses in the league. Marcus Williams did his thing. So I mean, overall, like I said, I give them an A. They did what they needed to do to win. Everything that they did should have put us in a position to win. It's just unfortunate that the other team's defense scored and we didn't.
Mhm.
Right,
Uh,
sure, sure.
I mean, you pretty much said everything I was going to say, and I'll let Marcus Peters live since you said what you said about him. But I agree. I mean, if anything, I wish our defense could have got some turnovers because that could have changed the game. I mean, we saw what it did for the Bengals, but I can't say anything bad about them either. I would give them an A as well because they showed up. They were ready to play.
I'll definitely give him an A. Like I said, they got pressure on Joe Burrow all the way fine. He looked like, he looked alive. He wouldn't look like he just was out there just participating. Calais came back strong. He was, disruptive in the run game, which, we shut down Joe Mixon. Jamar Chase, Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, they didn't have a big game. Secondary came to play. Marcus Peters played exceptionally well for the most part. Besides a couple of little, like you said, Hilton, knucklehead stuff. Marlon played good. All he gave up was a bunch of underneath routes, and you'll take that all day long. If you just going to beat him on a 5 yard curl all day long, have at it. Like they didn't
Mhm.
get no explosive plays down the field, which was my big worry, and I'm pretty sure everybody else's big worry. And Kyle Hamilton, man, he was all over the place, man. Everybody was hard on him at first, but like I said, man, Rome wasn't built in a day, man. He was coming out the edge, getting pressure, knocking passes down, coming up tackling. So defense get an A plus. Like I said, only thing they didn't do was just score and get a
Mhm.
turnover. So they get an A plus for me. They did, like you said, they did everything they needed to do to win that game. Let's just get into some off season stuff because now it is the off season. That's why I wanted to get that out the way. Off season changes that y'all think need to be made. Go first, Hendo.
All season changes.
Yeah, go ahead. Take as
Well,
long, much time as you want.
well, let's see. Oh, man. Well, hopefully, I just heard that there's supposed to be a press conference Thursday from Jonathan Harbaugh. I hope he is stepping down because Josina Anderson said one of the three longest tenured coaches in the NFL, one of them stepping down. And I'm praying, 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 praying. This is my only birthday wish every year. John Harbaugh be gone. And I
You
know
ready to get
Shannon,
Shannon started.
and I know
I see
Shannon
that
like,
face.
I know
I
Shannon
see that
like,
look on our face. Yeah.
I know Shannon like this dude right here can't
This
stand when
girl
he
get
come on.
interesting. This girl get interesting. Go ahead, Andy. Go ahead.
No, listen. So there comes a time with certain coaches, and mostly all coaches, their message gets stale. That's what OTL Mike says. He says the message gets stale. But for me, it's the reoccurring issues that we have. It's 15 years later. And once again in this game, your clock management sucks. There is no excuse for us to have the ball with 52 seconds left. Next thing you know, we turn around, it's 8 seconds. Now we're scrambling, we're running around, we're rushing. Like, bruh, you have 2 timeouts. I get it. You save one for just in case. But that other timeout, you don't let 40 seconds run off the clock. That's time that we could have used instead of rushing for a play, getting a holding penalty, or you talking to your offensive coordinator like, yo, where is your head at? Like, what do you think about calling? What do we think about doing? Get something set in place. And also for the fact of this, like I said, I don't want Greg Roman fired, even though he can't be because his contract is up, because we know Harbaugh's going to bring in another clone. But when is it that we are going to start getting a sense of urgency on offense? And this goes to before even Greg Roman. Even when Flacco was
Mm-hmm.
here, in games we were losing, it's like 6 minutes left in the game, we down 17. We walking up to the line of scrimmage, we checking the play calls. Why don't you have 2 or 3 plays called at one time? Like, we're in a hurry up offense. And if the offensive coordinator is not going to light that fire, it's under the head coach. John Harbaugh said in the game earlier, Gus Edwards had 3 carries during the game. I didn't know that. Isn't it your job to know these things? You oversee the team. I don't care if the offensive coordinator is the greatest offensive coordinator in NFL history. You oversee him. You're supposed to go over game plans with your offensive and defensive coaches the week of. And it just
Not
seems
just
like,
special teams.
and it's right, not just special teams. And it just seems like every week, John Harbaugh's like, I didn't know that. Well, what do you know? What is your job with this team? I used to think that John Harbaugh was a motivator of men. I'm coming to find out that he is not. He is just a figurehead to speak to the media, say the right things. Like, my biggest problem, and I know Shannon, like, yo, I can't wait for this dude to stop so I can rip him a new one. But my biggest thing, my biggest, my big, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, Shannon. But my biggest thing with him, honestly, is especially with, and I know we're not supposed to look at other organizations and look what other people are doing, but McDonald down there in Miami with Tua. Tua gets all this flack, and McDaniel. I'm sorry, McDaniel. I keep calling him D McDonald. McDaniel. He keeps going out there like, listen, I don't know what y'all heard, but he sticks up for his quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Marlon Humphrey shouldn't have to come out here and say, man, Lamar's limping around the facility. John Harbaugh gets out there. I don't know what's going on with Lamar. We waiting on him. I don't know what's up with Ronnie Stanley. I'm just waiting for him to feel like he need to come back. You know, you constantly are throwing these players under the bus, showing them that you don't have their back. You don't have their best interest at heart. Now, you can use the HIPAA violation all you want to. You don't have to give out the injury disclosure. You can say something's going on. I don't, it doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon. Don't put the onus on your players. As the leading man of an organization, you're supposed to take the heat for all of this. And John Harbaugh, time and time again, to me, seems to lean on self-preservation. Let me start setting up these dominoes so when they start falling, it's going to lead them around me to somebody else. So I would prefer that we get an offensive or even a defensive coach, head coach, somebody that during a game when something's not going right, that they can give their input for the team. Now, with that, of course, it comes into the offensive coordinator. Gladly. But, the question on everybody's mind, what are they going to do with Lamar Jackson? Has this relationship been frayed enough that he doesn't want to come back? Now, me personally, I was 50-50 in the beginning. Then I was like, yeah, Lamar's not coming back. Then I was like, he is coming back. But I think the more and more the fans turn on him, because it got real ugly this week with some of these Ravens fans. They just like, just put a brace on it. He not doing this. He don't want to be there. He should have went with the team. Now that's the new thing. And I was watching something earlier and I saw Coach Herm Edwards on there. And he was like, it's a bad look. He should have went with the team. I'm like, injured players don't travel with the team. And Tua didn't travel with his team, but y'all not talking about that. Y'all just picking on Lamar, making every excuse y'all can to make that young man look bad. So I think our biggest thing is, what are we going to do with him? Right now, as it stands, everybody's looking at the franchise tag. We don't have enough money right now to franchise tag him. Like the franchise tag is going to be between 45 and 49 million. We have approximately 41 right now under the salary cap, but they're projected to be $225 million. Then that also bleeds into people want to trade for DeAndre Hopkins. And I think he's supposed to make 19 million next year. I think the cap hit is like 13 or 14 million. So how would we be able to do that? Who are we going to let go? Or who are we not going to bring back? Who are we going to trade? Are we going to trade Patrick Queen now that he's playing better? So we have a lot to kind of get into this offseason, a lot of inner workings, because parts are going to have to be moved around. My biggest concern outside of Lamar is, what are we going to do with that first round draft pick? Because I've been telling you this all year. First round draft pick, we're going to pick a cornerback. Everybody thinks we're drafting a wide receiver first. We are not. We're drafting a cornerback. And my biggest thing is, how many goddamn quarterbacks do we need on this team? How many swings do you need to take at getting a cornerback in here before you feel like enough is enough?
Well, go ahead, Shannon. I'm assuming Hendo. So.
Okay. So first of all, Harbaugh, right? When I saw that we were having a press conference, I think it's Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. My thoughts was, well, I guess Harbaugh's coming back, because why else would he be there? Well, when you just said that, I remember that tweet that she posted about 1 of 3, but I remember that, right? So that's fair. Maybe he could. And if he is doing that, right, let's just go with your logic that he might be doing that. That means that we're in bad shape organizational-wise, because why would he want to step down? Like, what's going on behind the scenes in general to make him say, I don't even want to be here no more?
Because Lamar not coming back.
Right. So then what if it is about Lamar, right? You brought up the fact that Tua's coach was defending him in a way that you felt like John Harbaugh wasn't. I've been having this debate all week, and I had to literally go find the post, and I shared it with the guy that I was going back and forth with, and he had to admit, like, Dag, I didn't see that. John Harbaugh verbatim said in the press conference, Lamar's working hard, the trainers are working hard, like they're working hard to get him back on the field. This was before we knew that Lamar was not coming back at all. So what I'm saying is, I don't know what more you guys want from a coach in that sense, because most coaches aren't going to sit up there and tell you, like, this is what this person is dealing with every single day. I'm in a press conference. You're asking me about Lamar. He's not here. What can I say? He's in treatment. He's working. What else can I say? You want me to say we miss him so bad when I'm trying to get this team prepared to play whoever we're playing? I'm pretty sure he's talked to Lamar. I'm pretty sure he's concerned about it. But when he's out doing his press conference, he can't spend the whole time talking about Lamar's injury. That's why that doesn't bother me, because I'm like, he can't say anything. If he did say something, then it would be another situation where somebody would say, like you say, damned if you, damned if you don't. Somebody might say,
Right.
why are you telling his business? Why are he doing this? Why are he saying that? He's trying to sabotage Lamar. He's trying to make it so that don't another team want him. If he would have came out saying, look, Lamar's really hurt, right?
That's a good point.
That would have been the next thing somebody would have been saying, that he's doing that so that another team. I don't. To me, he couldn't
Yeah,
do
that's a
anything. He wouldn't have pleased everybody. So to me, I don't know what else he could have done as far as Lamar was concerned. And he did not seem happy. It seemed like he didn't even know Lamar was going to tweet what he tweeted last week before we played the playoff game. He looked very upset about that. I don't think I would like that if I was a head coach. Like, if I didn't know you were about to make that big statement like that, I think I would want to be made aware of something like that, because now I'm going to be questioned about it because you went out there and told the whole world whatever you told them. You know what that tweet said. So as much as we can blame John Harbaugh for how he's acting, now we're going to switch to what you're talking about Lamar. Of course, Lamar should be priority number one, right, in the offseason, because now Roquan is done, so he's not an issue. Lamar should be. I think the reason everybody is looking forward to or thinking it's going to be the franchise tag is because we aren't confident that a deal is going to get done before we're able to assign tags. And I don't think the Ravens would just let Lamar walk. So the only other option is the franchise tag him. Now, you said, how can we do that? We don't have the money. That's their job to figure it out. They got cap specialists. They going to do all that. They got to figure out how to make that work, because I'm sure they don't want to lose Lamar. But let me tell you one more thing. I want players that want to be here. I don't want hostages, right? Everything that I've ever felt about Lamar, I felt like he was genuine, hardworking, not drama free. Like, he didn't even. I don't the work. What do you say? Nobody cares. Work harder. When I saw that shirt, I was like, I'm glad he's the quarterback of my team. Like, he not really with all the rah-rah. I loved everything about it. This year, and you can blame the Ravens, the media, the fans, whoever you want to blame. I'm hearing things about Lamar that I never heard in the 4 years that he's been here, and that's concerning to me. And then when I call it passive aggressive stuff, because you post things on social media, and I say this about any player, so it's not just me saying it's about Lamar. I don't like when people do stuff like that. Whatever your issues are, handle it in house. If you have an agent, I'm not even saying he needs an agent to handle his business, but if you had somebody to be a mouthpiece, you wouldn't need to tweet or do anything. I feel like Lamar is calculated with when he does post things, when he decides to respond, when he decides to like, and in doing so, all it does is make fans talk. And then some fans are bothered by some fans wanting to discuss what Lamar's doing online. And not only, and like I told them when Lamar first made the post, and y'all know what post I'm talking about, that got everybody up in arms about like mine, whatever you treat them very appreciative, whatever he said.
Yeah, I know you're
When a Ravens fan told me, because I seen that and I was like, here we go. Like, I ain't got time. Like, first thing in the morning, I'm saying that. Like, I ain't, whatever. So Ravens fans told me that I'm looking for the negatives in Lamar. And I said, how I'm looking for the negatives when I just see I didn't even share the post. Somebody else shared it. And I was like, oh, he posted that? Oh, okay. Like, I shook my head like, I don't like it. But then when a person was trying to tell me that I was wrong and I'm trying to see the negative in it, I said, trust me. Somebody else posted it, so I have my opinion from reading that. Other fans are going to see this and they're going to think the same thing, and then you're going to have fans that's going to say that this is just social media. That don't mean nothing, right? And then you're going to have the national media talking about it, and that's exactly what happened. It went from him posting that at 8 o'clock in the morning to Baltimore fans locally talking about it to it being on our sports radio station Monday morning to
now everybody.
now nationally everybody's talking about it, and some people saying, "Damn, I wish Lamar didn't do that." Everybody is like, we don't look too much into it. But we do that all the time. We all read stuff and think, is it true? Is it not true? We don't know what he's thinking. But I don't think that he needs to be doing stuff to add fuel to the fire, because at the end of the day, I think everybody wants Lamar to be paid. Yes, there are fans. We see it. All fans. We've seen fans say, trade him, let him go, get the draft, all of that, right? We see all of that. But I think overall, nobody's going to be up in arms if he's resigned. I just want Lamar to be the mature person that I thought he was. The way that Kyler Murray was moving last year in the offseason when he wanted to get his contract, I didn't like that. And in the end, he made the Cardinals feel like they had to do what they had to do. Now, he didn't get the Deshaun Watson money, but he got paid, and then look what happened to him this year. So it's like, I just feel like these young men, and I'm 39, right? So I might look at things different than other people, because a lot of people be like, this is just their generation, this is how they talk, whatever. So maybe I need to accept that for what it is too. I don't like it, though. I don't like it when LeBron James do that. He's been in the league for 20 years. So that's something for me that I just don't like. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And then don't get mad when somebody has an opinion. We all got brains. We gonna think. Whether you think it's nothing or whether you think it's something, we gonna think one way or another. Don't
For sure.
post something to make people think like, oh, what's he talking? Is he talking about the Ravens? Then after that, what did he post? Well, I saw somebody said he took the Ravens out his bio, but then
Did he?
somebody else said, I don't know, because I really don't
No,
pay
I
attention to
checked it.
that. But they
It's
said that
it's up.
they
It's
said
still
it's
up. He
been
got the
gone.
jersey. Yeah.
No. Not out. So that was my next point. No, in his bio, they said it doesn't say whatever he had pertaining to the Ravens. I don't know, because then somebody else said he never had it in there. Or he been took it out. Then he posted pictures of him in his Ravens jersey and his story. So to me, you just playing with the fans at this point. Like the fans, the media, you doing too much to create narratives, and I don't like it one way or another. Whether you're like if you want to stay here, fine. Go up there and talk to Art DeCosta. Get something done before you go to Florida for the off season, so that this doesn't have to be a conversation for the next 2 months. So
Absolutely.
as much as we want the front office to sign Lamar, he needs to mature too. Don't do all that extra stuff because I don't like it. I mean, like I said, it's not personal to him. It's anybody. Like I don't like all of that. And then you said something about D Hop, right? I'm not against trading for him or however we got to go about getting him again. Whatever he's paid, that's for them to figure out how to make it work as far as the money is concerned. But ultimately, and I don't want to say fire Greg Roman because like I had to remind somebody today, if it's true that this is his last year, we don't need to fire him. We just don't
His
need to offer
contract
him
is
another
up.
contract, and we don't even need to make an announcement to say we ain't bringing him back unless you're going to say that on Thursday and say we're in search of a new offensive coordinator. Other than that, I don't care to hear about Greg Roman. He needs to go. He needs to go. And so it's to me, priority is Lamar. We need to make him priority, find a good offensive coordinator, and get a wide receiver. After that, you can go on the draft and do whatever you want to do. But I think those moves need to be made to let Lamar know that we are trying to build around you. We are trying to get you weapons. We are trying to get you help. But I think that stuff has to happen because guys are really upset about. I mean, I've never seen so many guys speak out about the Ravens as I have in recent years. And to me, it all stems from Greg Roman. So let's get him up out of here, which he will be gone. Get some new blood in here. Get a new wide receiver. Try to get Lamar signed. If not, franchise deal, and let's go. Let's go into next year. Like I felt like that game on Sunday made me feel like we could have won. Like you know what I mean?
We
Like
should have.
We should have won.
as much as we but that now look at this though. How many times have we talked about the lack of talent the team has? Then they go into games like that, and it's like, wow, they impress you. So those are my things. Get a new offensive coordinator, get a wide receiver. Well, get Lamar signed, get offensive coordinator, get a wide receiver.
But are you sure Greg Roman's going? We thought that last year.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Well, I
not
didn't
some
think
of us.
that last year. Well, no,
Some.
I didn't because, I think that, like I said last week or a couple of weeks ago, most coaches don't want to go into their last year of a contract without a deal. I mean, that's kind of how it almost happened with Harbaugh and the Ravens having the mutual agreement because he was in his last year and he didn't want to go into the next year like that. So with Wink was like, no, I'm leaving. I'm not staying here on a 1 year deal. And he went up to New York and he's still to DC. And Wink was okay. I'm sorry. Greg Roman was okay with coming back on a 1 year deal. So they probably looked at it like let's ride it out kind of thing. But he should be gone. Now I will say this: if he's not gone, I'm flipping tables because I don't know what else. I don't know what else John Harbaugh or Steve Bisciotti. Steve Bisciotti has spoken out about Cam Cameron, so he's not a stranger to letting it be known when he doesn't like something. So I don't think Greg Roman coming back. I really don't. Like if that happens, that would be the biggest shocker to me.
Y'all both are spot on. Me definitely provide number one. Try to figure out the situation with Lamar because you don't want to go into the draft. Then that's still laying, and the first thing everyone gonna talk about. Oh, did the Ravens look at one of these quarterbacks, or et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. Then you hear the Derek Carr talk, which I don't get, but it is what it is. Oh, should they trade for Justin Fields? The Bears got it's going to be too much of a speculation, and it's not on the analysts. That's their job. They get paid to do that. It's on the organization for not nipping it in the bud. You know what I mean? Because now you're going to give people storylines that don't need to be gave if you want to keep them in. So get that taken care of. If you gotta come to him and be straight, look straight up, Lamar. We want to give you that. We can't really afford it right now. Take this 48 this year. It's fully guaranteed for 1 year. Then we're gonna come back next year and boom, we're gonna get you as close as we can. Just be upfront. Just be upfront about it. Then I think that'll be better. For all sides. We all agree on that. Don't try to string them along. Because you want to leave because you feel like you're gonna lose your merchandise and lose all your profits, like you like to say, Hendo. So just be straight up about it, and I think he'll respect that. Number two, definitely Greg Roman. Let it expire, whatever you want to call, whatever proper term you want to use. He doesn't need to be back. If he's back, it's going to be a lot of upset, disgruntled. Like you said, you going to be turning the tables. Everybody's going to turn the tables. I think Harbaugh going to need the bodyguards to come to camp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being honest with you. Is going to definitely, next time somebody see him at Mount St. Joe, they might need to get the guards on the field. Like, seriously, like, he ain't gonna be able to watch his son play freely. And, not that I wish that on anybody, but it's just gonna be that bad of a fact. Yeah, so that's to bringing even Leftwich. I know you said Arians, he gets the credit, but Byron Leftwich called the plays. We know this, and we all like I said, it wasn't an Eric Bieniemy system where he called some of the plays. Byron Leftwich called all the plays. And BA said it numerous times. He said, "Get this man credit too, because he is the play caller." BJ walking around with a goddamn a pacemaker on his arm. How he calling some plays? Come on, like I was trying to tell Good there early in the group chat, but people feel like when they write, they write. You gotta let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
So get your Byron Leftwich, Cliff Kingsbury once he come back from his trip from Hong Kong and clear his mind. Cliff, I like
coming
Cliff.
back. He got a one-way ticket. That dude ain't coming back no time soon.
Oh shit, damn.
He got you see his girl. He took a picture of his girl and was like, "Yeah, one-way ticket."
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I like him as a play caller, but that's why I said that would be cool. He's young. He know how to relate to young quarterback.
But he would lose his head coaching money if he signed as our offensive coordinator. He wouldn't get paid all that money from the Cardinals. That's why he took that trip, because he's still getting that check.
That's true too. That's true. Well, we just need a offensive coordinator that's just going to utilize not just Lamar talents, everybody talents. Like you got receivers that don't get targeted. So you definitely that's another one. And let's see what else. Harbaugh. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but if he stays, I'm cool with it. Because like I said, he is. His record speaks for itself. He is a good team motivator. X's and O's is not his strong point, obviously, but he definitely tell those stories and get the players hype. With the sword in one hand and the chicken in the other hand. Those
The same
stories like
thing,
that.
right?
Like Ray used to say, that shit don't make no sense. But then at the end, you'll find a line about it. But so I will give him that. He is good for that, and he does, ride for his players for the most part. So if he stepped down, it wouldn't make me no different. But if he stayed, it was cool too. So and then just get younger at certain positions. Get younger in the secondary for sure. I'm not saying spend the first round pick at corner. If the corner's the best player available, then take it. I don't reach for nobody, because that's when you get in trouble. We did that before with Bashard Perriman reached and boom. You take the best player better. So if Christian Gonzalez or other kid there, Joey Porter Jr., take him. I'm cool with it. You can never have too many corners. It's a passing lead. You definitely get depth there, get depth on the interior and on the edge. So that's about it. Well, what's up, Henry? Why you tripping?
I mean, you're right. You can never have too many corners to pass the league, but you can always have enough wide receivers, right?
No, you can never have too many enough in them either, for sure. That's what
not with this team.
Listen, if Quentin Johnston there, take him. If Jackson Smith and Jimmy there, take him. But if it's like a receiver that going second round, don't take him just because you feel like it's a
trade back, get more picks. We only got 5.
Yeah. Do that. We'll get into that in a second too. So yeah, that's my thing. Those my thing. Find offensive coordinators up with the times and definitely get younger in space spot. All right, let's talk about
It's something you said though about something about I think you said something like don't string Lamar long, or the Ravens should be honest. I guess like negotiating.
Yeah. Be straight up about the attention phase.
I feel like that should apply to both of them.
No, and I meant to say, I'm glad you said this, Shannon. He has to come to the realization this is not the Cleveland Browns organization. Like, we're not going to be that desperate, like how Cleveland was. They just were so sick of Baker. They like, Baker wasn't really all that bad, to be honest with you. He had some good moments, but they just was like, you know what, the hell with it. We got to get Deshaun by any means necessary, because he was choosing Atlanta or Carolina, which was documented. So they said the only way he was going to come to cold ass Cleveland if we gave him a sweetheart deal he couldn't turn down. So we're not that.
I'm more or less referring to whether he wants to be here or not. Like, if he really doesn't want to be here,
I think he
can
does.
say that. Like, say that, because like Deshaun Watson took the Houston Texans money, and then a year later was demanding a trade. So I don't. If Lamar's really not happy with the organization as a whole, like let's just say he doesn't like Harbaugh as much as people feel like Harbaugh needs to go, and he's like, I'm
Right.
not. I don't want to be here if Harbaugh's going to be here. Then at that
That
point,
could
you have to
be a
trade him, right?
possibility. That could be
So,
a
like I said,
possibility.
I want both sides to negotiate in good faith. The Ravens haven't done anything to make me feel like they don't want him. When they even made it known again, they still plan to negotiate with him. It's just that both sides gotta want the same thing. And if you don't, then don't waste any time with trading them. Like do whatever you got to do and get the because let him try to get the best deal and go let him be happy as happy too. That's my whole thing. Like I just don't want it to be a whole the Ravens got to do all of this bending, and Lamar doesn't have to bend or compromise either, because that's not how
Right.
negotiations work.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. You're right. Because this is the team that took you at 32. The other teams wanted to make you another position. I'm just, playing double
Yeah,
everything. I'm a
yeah.
Lamar guy, but I just took a chance on use Great Falls in the second round. So, you got to have a little humility for the organization. I get it, and that's very true. But yeah, so I think he does. Because see, the Sean Watson situation, we're gonna move on. Houston was taking pieces from him. He got rid of DeAndre Hopkins for no apparent reason. Oh, because his baby mother want to come to the game. They traded away uh, Dwayne. They was just taking pieces off that team, and Bill O'Brien just self exploded. That's why he wanted out. He been said
Yeah.
that even before the little sexual assault stuff came out. He just was like, "No, y'all trade away my best receiver. I'll take away a
But they traded his
franchise
best
tackle."
receiver. They traded his best receiver before he signed the contract. He
No,
signed
they
that
signed.
contract
No,
after.
they traded DeAndre Hopkins after he signed. That was
We can
after he
okay.
got inked for that.
We can look that up, but we can
Yeah,
look that
yeah,
up.
yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, because that's why he was so upset. That's why he was so upset. After he signed for that 4 years, 166. That's when D Hop got traded because him and Bill O'Brien got into it about the big number man on the sideline. But anyway, that's why he wanted it. I think Lamar likes it here. He loves the fans. Like I said, they just got to find some coming. But he definitely got to bend a little bit too. Like fully guaranteed, you asking for a whole lot. So you definitely gonna have to be a little bit more flexible. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, let's talk about the draft. We got 5 draft picks, man. So what you think we do, Hendo? Trade, get some more picks, or what? Or stay with the 5 picks? Like, just give me your thoughts.
Listen, when it comes to the draft, I'm at a loss. Um, you know, I know you said, listen, don't reach, go for best player available. My thing is, good or bad, is there such thing as a reach? If there's a player that fits your system
Yeah.
and you feel like that's the right person for you, then I think you need to go get whomever that person is. Like when people was like, oh, taking Linderbaum at 14, so to speak,
That
for
wasn't a
instance.
reach. That
But I'm
wasn't a
just
reach.
saying, just for instance, but if he's your guy, my thing is just
Yeah.
if this is your guy,
I'll give you an example once you're done. What it means.
if that's your guy, go get him. If he makes your team better, why are we gonna sit here and be like, well, let me trade down 5 picks and hope he's still there, and then you miss out on him? For me,
Sure.
I honestly don't know what they should do. Eric DeCosta needs as many picks as he can get to make the right picks, because to me, his drafts ain't been about much of nothing. Like he's found some decent players, but he hasn't hit any home runs. So, I mean, first round, whoever moves the needle for this team and makes it better. Like you said, we don't have to reach for a wide receiver. Trade back, get some more picks, some more options. I haven't really looked into the position, so I
That's
don't
what I
know.
would hope. That's what I would hope we do. 5 picks ain't enough.
So I don't know how deep it is. We don't have a second round pick. So, and also, what does that mean for Patrick Queen? Would they trade Patrick Queen to try to recoup that second? Like, it's hard to say right now.
No, they
Go
better not.
Listen,
ahead, Shannon. Go
listen,
ahead.
we listen.
Whatever.
You
Have you
no,
heard that?
no. My
Oh,
thing, my biggest thing is this team loves draft picks, and even though Patrick Queen has picked his game up, are they going to give him his 5th-year option? And if they're not going to give him his 5th-year option, he's not in their plans. And they'll do
Right.
anything they can to get Eric DeCosta the draft picks that he wants. And he's the hottest commodity right now that will actually bring in some value. But right now, honestly, I don't know what this team is going to do, because I don't know what direction they're going in. I don't know that they do certain things. And I'm just like, are we a running team? Are we this? Are we that? But then you move in a different direction. So I don't know what they're going to do for this draft, honestly.
yeah. I don't
Go
know
ahead,
either.
Shannon.
I was actually
Uh,
surprised to hear we only had 5 picks. I mean, I thought we might have had a little bit more than that, but I know they're probably not happy about that. So I can probably see them making some moves to try to get more draft picks. Um, but I don't have a problem with taking the best player available at that, at that pick. And sometimes if it's their guy, they just might move back. Um, but I don't know. And I'm actually not against us getting a DB in the first round either. I mean,
I'm
I don't know
not
what they're
either.
going to do. What they're going to do with Marcus Peters. Um, Marlon Humphrey's, he's getting older. He's not getting any younger. So you got to get a replacement of people at some point. And the way our DBs get hurt, I never have a problem when it's a lot of them back there because at some point in the season it seems like we need them. But to have Ant like today, right now, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do in the draft. I just hope that whoever they draft can make a impact and not want to leave because the last couple of draft picks that we've drafted, they haven't wanted to stick around for the long haul. But I really hope we don't trade Queen. That would be horrible. Like his game blossomed, with having Smith next to him. I hope not. They were just talking about on the radio today picking up his fifth year option. So I was like, oh yeah, good. And then when you say that, now my stomach hurts. So I hope they don't do that.
Me personally, I don't think he stay put with 5 picks. I just don't do it. It's like it's because you got some decisions you got to make. You got to fill in a receiver. Uh, Possibly, like I said, DB. You got to see what's going on with your running backs. Like I said, because Gus, I think this is the last year Gus contract. You got to see if what Gus want far as numbers. So if Gus feel like he want to go somewhere else and be the main guy and no Shannon carries and price himself out, you gonna probably have to take a back at some point in the draft in the later rounds. But JK is still, even with JK saying what he's saying, he's still here. He's not going nowhere. We all know that. So
Mm,
he ain't going away. He's still in the country. He ain't going nowhere. They might
okay.
tell him, hey, they
Uh,
but listen
Orlando
to me.
Brown Jr., Hollywood Brown were still under contract as well.
I know I get that, but I'm telling you, they're gonna go to him and just hey, this next time, just come to us, blah blah blah. They'll give him a little slap on the wrist, little type treatment. But I think he'll be here because he's
Slap
still
on
got
the
2 years of his contract.
slap
You
on the
know
wrist
how
for
it is.
what? Like, he ain't do
I
nothing
mean,
wrong.
we know that morally, but from there, I feel like he could have probably, you get what I'm saying? He could have
But
came, like you said, in
and
house.
I get that. But he told
Yeah,
them. He said I did go to them in house.
yeah.
He
But
said
we
I
all
came to
know
them.
for sure. We all know for sure. Like in reality, he ain't do nothing wrong. But from them, it makes them. You know how I go. The organization, hey, it makes us look bad. That
But
type
he
thing.
seen like, but my biggest thing is he just saying he like I know players get upset when we lose and they don't feel like they contribute enough. Like he had tears in his eyes. Like
No, he definitely he was hurt.
he's
He was
like I'm
really hurt.
sick. I'm sick of this. I'm telling them, look, use me. And I thought early on because before the game, I heard was he was like, put the game on me. Win or lose, put this offense on my back. So early on, I'm like, okay, we're gonna
I
ride
love that.
JK to this. And
Hmm.
in the beginning of the game, what was he doing? Leading us to victory.
Hmm.
And then they set up, you played one snap too many. You got to set out for a quarter.
Yeah, I didn't
So
have a problem with what he said. I mean, the reality of it is he said what we all say. And that's something that I've talked about even with like Lamar. Like if you got an issue with the offense, say something. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna fault JK for saying something that I wanted other people to say. And what he said was the truth. The man, when I saw that he said that like put the game on my back, I was like, oh, like I like that. I like everything about it. And that's what we should have did. So I definitely didn't have a problem. That's not to me, that's not passive aggressive. That's direct.
that's the yeah.
I ain't got no issue with if you a grown person, man or woman, be direct. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So I respect that more than the tweets and the reposting and all that, because that creates narratives. We know exactly how DK felt. Period. We ain't guessing, we know.
Yeah,
And I ain't got no problem with that.
and it took the week 17 before that man in his career with the Ravens to get more than 15 carries. So
That's
don't
crazy.
so my thing is let's not get too comfortable with thinking that he want to be here.
I think he does because he showed a lot of the fans love. I think he just want who we all want gone, and that's just Mr. Ray Rowe.
Hollywood showed the fans love.
I was about to say that too. Hollywood,
Hollywood showed he played video games. Hollywood showed the fans a lot of love. And
Nah, he did. I just think
and was
Mr. Rowe is
asking for a
different than
trade for
JK.
2 years. I was like, oh, 2 years?
And both of them upset at the same person. So you see the common denominator.
Yeah,
So that's why I
exactly.
think he'll still be here because I think we all, well, we should. Well, nothing's guaranteed. Well, if they know what's good, he won't be retained as the OC, and I think that everything will be a little bit better. But back to what I was saying, so running back could possibly be something to look at. Like I said, Gus, decides he don't want to take no discount. Uh, it's a course receiver. You got an edge rusher because JPP getting up there in age. You got who else? Uh, Taz Bowser and all them. So right now you only got three edge rushers for sure that you know coming back. That's Bowser, Jabbo, and Owe. Everybody else is like a question mark. Same thing with Calais and Brett Irvin. So you might have to Michael Pierce is coming back, which is good. So you might gotta get some young guys there. And like you said in the secondary, Marcus Peters with that little blow up on the sideline with Harbaugh, his price went down. So they might use it against him. Like, hey, you remember you just cussed our coach on the sideline. So you want to stay here, boom, boom, boom. He might not be with us, so he might end up going somewhere else, and then that's the whole like corner. So it's just they're gonna have to trade. They're gonna have to trade back, get some picks, or move somebody or something because 5 picks not gonna be enough. We'll talk about potential free agent players, then we'll wrap it up. We go at Hendo on either side of the ball. What's some guys that you think the Ravens should pursue in free agency? I know we ain't really look at the list like that, but just off the top of your head.
Uh, sheesh.
We'll get more into this like later on. Like
Well, I don't know because I've looked at the list, but the free agent pool is for wide receiver is slim. I know they
yeah,
had
it's
like
not. It's
Curtis
like
Campbell and like some other number 3 receivers. But if free agent, Lamar Jackson, that's it. Period. Point blank.
that's not currently with the team because he's still currently with the team as of right now.
No, he's not. His contract is done. He's not
Yeah,
with the team.
it ain't March yet. He ain't hit the open market yet, so he's still a Raven. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so if free agents, I don't know of any right now, but anybody that I could think of, it's got to be a receiver like DeAndre
But you got
Hopkins.
DJ Chalk.
DJ Chalk. You know what?
Available.
We should have signed.
Marvin Jones.
We should have signed DJ. I'll take DJ Chalk. We should have signed him last year for
I
that
agree. Yeah.
$10 million. We
That
should
was a
have
steal.
that. Yeah.
Juju, he might not. Who knows? He might not be back in KC because they drafted for Kadarius Toney. I know his antics are not liked, but he's a hard nosed receiver that will fit.
He stays hurt too much. He stays hurt too much for me.
That's true. That's true. So it's some guys over there. Alan Lazard,
No, we need some dominant ones. We don't need potentials. We need a dominant one.
You want dominant ones out of here, you may get one, maybe two.
Listen, I'll take that because my biggest thing is I have a lot of friends that live in other states, and they ask me about Lamar Jackson all the time. And they're like, oh, I hear this and I hear that. How good is Lamar? And I always tell them, I don't know. I don't know how good Lamar is. We've seen the good Lamar. We've seen the bad Lamar. I don't know what he is consistently because to me, he hasn't had the pieces around him to know whether he is this top 5 quarterback or he's a top 15 quarterback. So I just want this organization to get him a couple of dudes. So by the end of next season or the season after that, we definitively know what we have at quarterback and we don't have to speculate and be like, yeah, he can pass sometimes. He may be able to pass. Either we know or we don't know. Because right now I can't definitively say whether or not he's an elite passer or not.
Go ahead, Shannon.
I wish I would have known this was going to be a topic because I would have looked. I don't even know who the free agents are.
That's why I did it. I wanted to catch everybody off guard.
I really don't know. I don't know because I haven't even. I don't watch a lot of sports talk. I don't even know if they've been talking about free agents. So even though you don't want us to say it, to me, Lamar is priority number one. You can't be thinking about a wide receiver if you ain't locked up your quarterback. Because what makes you think that wide receiver want to come here? So honestly, I don't know. I don't care about the other free agents. I want to handle our number one free agent, which is Lamar. That's who needs to be the priority right now. Nobody else. I don't want to go looking for a wide receiver if I ain't got a quarterback.
Very true. Well, for me, besides that, because I think that's going to get done one way or another, either franchise or extension. They're not just letting him walk, hit the open market. Nobody's that stupid. DJ Chalk going to be available. I did a little homework. I looked at a little list. DJ Chalk, Marvin Jones, Alan Lazard, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Juju Smith-Schuster, like you said, Paris Campbell. Who else? A couple other names up there.
What about any of them receivers in Tampa? They not free agents?
Yeah. Russell Gage, who just got the injury. Julio was only there for a year.
Never mind.
He had his opportunity.
Never mind.
Yeah, he said 4 years ago you'd be all for it, huh?
Duh. Yeah.
When he was getting 100 catches, now it's like, not this.
He can't
Odell Beckham Jr., fully healed. I'm just, And of course, trading for D Hop and stuff like that.
Well, okay, I would be okay with Odell, but
I would too.
I don't know what Odell wants. I mean, when he was talking about long term deal and all that type
He
of stuff,
said he'll
like,
play with Lamar too. He put that on record, so
well, I'm worried about his injury history. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the only thing that will make me be like, I don't know about him. Because if you can't help us, then what's the point?
yeah. I agree. I mean, I agree with y'all. One last little nugget. Just give me your thoughts on Eric DeCosta and his tenure so far being the GM. And we'll wrap it up with that. Go ahead, Hendo.
I'm not impressed. Trade wise, he knocks it out the park. Like when he makes a trade, he makes a splash. But to me, just he has had lackluster drafts. Now, of course, you need about 3 years to kind of go back and see how that draft class panned out. But we've just drafted a bunch of dudes. Like always a dude. I know Queen's gotten better, but we still could have gone in a different direction. He was not the best player available in that draft. So that's what concerns me about this. We say best player available, but then in certain drafts we don't do best player available, like which is our philosophy. So to me, I'm not impressed with him. Like he had 11 draft picks this last draft. Kyle Hamilton, pretty good. Linderbaum, glad he did it. What else did we get out that draft of 11 picks?
Unlikely, I guess.
Okay, I get. You know what? I give you that. Likely, for he's done very well for a fourth round rookie.
Then you got possibly David Ajabo.
We're not talking possibles, bro. We talking about what has happened this season. The season that
Yeah,
we
he
finished.
was he was hurt, so it's like I mean,
That's my point.
uh,
We are an injured team, and that's one of the biggest issues I've had. We've been an injured team over the last 3 years. Why do we draft an injured pass rusher and an injured tight end? We've already had people coming back from injury that we were waiting on. So now you're adding more people that aren't going to be able to contribute to this team. So now we got to
I think
Travis
that was
Jones,
might have been like, oh,
who?
Travis Jones.
Once again, like I said, so we have 2 first round picks that panned out, and this is kind of taking a page from Ozzy's book. Your first round picks hit, and then the rest of them are just regular dudes. Status quo. But like I said, I know a lot of people gave this draft the A plus 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 and all that other stuff. It's an average draft. We could have packaged the picks together and gotten better players in certain positions, like edge rusher. Like I don't know why we undervalue edge rushers so much. It helps the
Yeah,
secondary. You could have the
a
best
lot.
players in the secondary. You can have the most elite players ever. If they got time to sit back and pass, maybe Zadarius Smith would have helped bring Joe Burrow down one of them times that he escaped. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a different game, but I mean, I guess I expect more from Eric because he's been with the organization for so long. It's not like he's just a fifth year GM. He's been with us for 20 years. So I mean, I just think he's average. He's not. It's nothing special to me about Eric DeCosta.
Wait,
yeah,
Shannon.
I'll say the same thing. He's been pretty average. I don't have an issue with a lot of the free agent signings and even trades that we've made in the season. I can't, they've been great. Um, the thing about Eric DeCosta and the whole front office, to be honest with you, because I just saw that I think it was the Cardinals, even though they didn't hire him, wanted to speak with somebody from our front office for
Joe
their
Ortiz.
GM job, and they said that he'd been with the organization for like 25 years. So I say that to say, we always say, since Harbaugh been here, it was like that with Flacco, it was like this with that. I think it might be a deeper issue going up to the front office as well. Because a lot of the things of even with you saying he learned from Ozzy, and I had to explain this to a person that's not a Ravens fan who was saying things like if Ozzy was a GM, he would get this done with Lamar. And I had to break down to him every time Ozzy didn't get a deal done and had to do a franchise tag and had to do another franchise tag, and then people got deals. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say that just made me think, is it an issue upstairs? Like you got these people, all of them been with the organization for all these years. Is it Harbaugh? Is it Eric? Is it Ozzy? Is it Steve? Like, I don't know. Like that just made me think about that. Like I don't at this point I don't know what it is. When you think that people been with the organization for that long, how can something change unless you get new people in there? So that's wild when you think about it. But he was pretty average. Like I said, the draft picks. I don't really have a problem with Kyle Hamilton. I actually think he did pretty well his rookie year. But yeah, see.
Yeah, he definitely pretty average. Like I said, your first draft class, all your players are gone. The only two players that are still in your current roster, Justice Hill and Ben Powers.
Yeah, but
One of them
Paul
don't
might
even
be gone.
start, and he ain't. And both of them may not even be here. Jalen Ferguson, rest in peace. That was unfortunate, but he probably was going to be cut after this year. To be honest with you, like I said, sad and unfortunate that but from football aspect, he probably wasn't going to be here long.
Mhm.
Hollywood won it out, so Miles Boykin is in Pittsburgh blocking, so the whole draft class is basically wiped out for year one. That's bad. Year two, Queen starting to come along now. JK, of course, doing his thing. That's the best pick of that class by far. Tyree Phillips not here. Ben Bredesen not here. Crochet looks like he's just going to be a career punt returner. Third receiver. I know we all hype him up a little bit, but it ain't there. He got multiple chances and have yet to put it all together. Duvernay, second best player out of that draft class. Lee Harrison. He's getting in where he fit in. It's gonna be hard for him to get on the field now, especially with Roquan now. But when he has played, he's done okay. And then, like I said, Metabike is playing good. So the 2020 players got a little better. 2021, Bateman, good pick, but hurt. Dafio is like we need a little bit more out here. It's year two. You don't do nothing year three. Now we're gonna scratch our heads like that. Did we just waste a pick on a project? Who else we took up that class? Alan Wallace. Who else? Who else? Who else? Alan Wallace. I gotta help me out here. Alan Wallace.
Nobody of importance.
Yeah, yeah. But so like that draft class was a little better. 2022 now was looked like his best class with Kyle Hamilton. I didn't like the pick at first, but I understood it. Big safety range. You
Did you
passed
really?
on George. Yeah, yeah. You passed on George Pickens was right there. Granted, he got some character issue, but the kid is a baller. You see what he's going to Pittsburgh for David Ojabo. Yeah, he know the defensive scheme, but he's not. He not will be ready no time soon. Like you get granted, he did come in and get a sack week 18, but other than that, you knew that was a crapshoot. Like you go a whole draft without drafting a receiver, like it was bad. But he definitely gets B minus. He got like in 2 years he might not even be here. That's how I'm thinking. If this drafting don't get better, I think eventually Steve is going to part ways with him. Just get another GM. That's just my personal. All right, closing remarks and make it up out of here. Go ahead, Henry.
Um, I guess the only thing I can say is I just want the team to do better. I just want to fix just certain little things, get this quarterback signed, get everybody happy, and make this run. Like I think we've wasted enough time. I think 2019 showed us what we could have been, and that was a Super Bowl contender. Like legit from game five on. That was the first year since I've been a Ravens fan that I said to myself week in and week out, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Other years it was like, we might got a chance, like it's possible. But that year I'm like, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Especially when we played San Francisco and beat them. I said, oh, we beat the best of the NFC got. It's a wrap. But ever since then, we've gone downhill. And my biggest issue is just we don't tend to fix the things that have gone wrong. We try to reinforce things reactionary from what happened in the playoffs the year before. I just want us to get it together on both sides of the ball, coaching, front office. I want everyone to get on the same accord and say, listen, we're out here to win a title. We're not out here to get to the playoffs, get to the second round, get to the conference championship. We're out here to win a title. And I just want to do it. I'm sick of being so close. And I know I'm a spoiled fan because other franchises don't even make the playoffs. But just like my kids, just because you come in here with a B doesn't mean you can't get an A. And I expect more out of you. If you don't make the A, I'm cool with it, but I expect you to do better. So I just want my team to do better. That's all.
Um, I agree with everything you just said. For me, this season was a roller coaster ride. We had some highs, a bunch of lows. But what it ultimately showed me, particularly how we went out there and played on Sunday, was that we were a lot better than we showed, and we can be better. And I hope that, I hope Lamar is back because these guys have something they can build on. Sometimes you got to go through tough things and it builds character. And maybe, how things panned out this season, what happened in the playoff game, it just might make the guys grow closer than what they are now. And chemistry is really important in sports. So ultimately, I just want to say I'm proud of them, and I'm already looking forward to next season.
Indeed.
Yeah, both of y'all said some good stuff. Me, it's just like I said, we got a lot of young players on this thing that can definitely get better. So that's the bright side. Like I said, get eight taken care of, and then fill in the holes, receiver out. I think we'll be able to compete with Kansas City and Buffalo and all those high power teams on a daily basis. But like you said, we just got to take care of this in house stuff. Hopefully, the football gods be nice for us, and we just don't have that many injuries next year. Like I said, that's just been a black cat running around. I don't know. A lot of people say we still getting haunted for the Ray Rice thing. I know y'all hear that. I know y'all hear that. So
Mm-hmm.
so we hopefully the football gods will finally give us a break on the injuries. Because like I said, fully healthy, this team can easily win 12, 13 games. No, I've just seen it. The last four healthy seasons, four, 14 wins, and we know that's not. We ain't gonna do that every year. That's hard to do, but we just see the capability in the team is fully healthy. So definitely, we could just remain healthy and then the front office do what they're supposed to do and get the pieces we need. We'll be right back in the thick of things. Everyone, another great show. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Hendy.
Wait,
This
one
would be
second. 1 second, baby. Hey, Raven C, I hate you. Just want to say I hate you out loud.
yeah. So I would just take a little hiatus to after the Super Bowl. I'm gonna get my notes together for the off season. So once the Super Bowl's over, I'll do a show talk about the combine and all that, and I'll reach out to you guys to try to get you back on. So for the next couple of weeks, just stay tuned. Tune in to Raven C, turn in the Hindu. He's gonna have some stuff engraving, of course. So yeah, it's gonna be some good content. But I'm gonna just relax and just enjoy the playoffs and just like I said, get ready for the combine. So I'll see y'all guys in about like a month. All right, everyone. Have an amazing
Good night.
Tuesday. Make sure y'all trade Talking Ravens all day, every day from your host, Justin T, the lovely Shannon Fitz, Hindu, Ravens Online, on Gatekeepers with parentheses. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys after the Super Bowl. I'm out.
See ya.